If you're listening to this, one thing that I need you to know is that I got lots of love for you. I've got a lot of respect for you. And more or less, I don't know how you got where you are. I don't know what your circumstances are. I don't know where you were born. And I don't know what you've had to go through to become the kind of man that you are now. But one thing I need you to understand is that I'm rooting for you. I'm here for you. I understand you. I see you. I honor you, brother to brother, man to man, father to son, son to father. I do honor you. But before I go on, there's a white elephant in the room that we have to address. And the issue here is that we as men, we are going through a very tough transitory period. There's so much that is going on that has made our boys not want to be men. We are the first generation where most of our boys are giving up on manhood. Most of our boys prefer calling themselves as he, she, it. So many different nouns apart from being a man. But let's face it. We've given up our responsibility as men. And if we're going to solve it, I'm going to own 50% on condition that you own the other 50%. And we meet in the middle and understand exactly what the cause is. Perspective is important. And it is hard for you as a man to be who you're supposed to be to others, love them, provide for them, protect them, first and foremost, if you don't have a relationship with your Maker, if you don't have a relationship with God, if you don't have a relationship with yourself, which will be reflected with the relationship that you have with others. Our generation, we've been told, convinced, and made to feel guilty if we put ourselves first. And you cannot put others before you. You can't come last in your own life and expect to give the best version of yourself to others. Most of us as men, I want us to look at this through a very different set of eyes. All I'm asking you to do today is, I need you to give me the latitude to talk to you and for us to get into a conversation here. I need you to ask for guidance, ask God to give you a new set of eyes so that you can look at your old problems differently. Let me take you from childhood. As a male is a biological function. You have no choice being a male. This is something that happens when a man and a woman come together and a man releases sperm which gets into the woman and it hits the egg, it hits the ovum, and all of a sudden a male is formed. That is biological. None of us have choices. But the beginning determines the end. The beginning determines what kind of man you're going to become. The beginning determines the eyes through which you see the life that you lead. And the beginning determines the relationship that you're going to have with God Himself, the relationship that you're going to have with the women in your life, and the relationship that you're going to have with you. We start in the womb of a woman. And that is the most fascinating part that most of us never take time to think and digest. God brings you into this world. The Bible clearly says, Genesis 1st chapter, the 26th verse, and God says, let's create man in our own image and likeness. The first creation is man. But for that man to come into being, he has to be brought into the vehicle. He has to be brought into this world through the darkness of the womb of a woman. So God brings you into this world. God creates you for God, by God, but you get brought into this world through a woman. So your relationship with a woman determines the kind of relationship that you're going to have with all women in your life and every single relationship that you have. When you are born, or when you are conceived in your mother's womb, you are conceived, you are put in the most comfortable place imaginable, the safest, where there's provision, where there's protection, and where there's any imaginable need taken care of. A woman's womb is the metaphorical Eden. This is the place where everything is provided for. When you are inside the woman's womb, 100%, when you are in your mother's womb, you depend on your mother 100%. There is nothing that you do that your mother does not supply you with. Your mother feeds for you, or rather you feed through your mother. Your mother breathes for you. Your mother feeds you through the umbilical cord. Your mother protects you through the amniotic fluid. Whatever your mother goes through, you go through. You don't have to think again. But at some point, there is two things that will always control any man's life. It is the pushing and the pulling. A mother or a woman's job is to consistently keep on pushing a man or push the boy towards the father. And the father's job as a man is to consistently keep on calling you towards himself. And the first time that a man will be pushed by his mother is the first time she tries to bring you into this world. I've never seen a beautiful baby. Babies are ugly. And babies are ugly because they have to physically fight to come into this world. They come screaming, shouting, and gasping for air. When you look at that little bundle of joy, there's so much pressure, there's so much barrow, there's so much blood rushed into the head because the child had to be forced, or he had to be forced. The mother had to push to bring that child, or to bring you rather, into this world. And the first thing that happens when you come into this world, when you are exposed into nature, is you open your mouth and you scream. And that is the first law of nature that God gives us as men, that we are taught from the very first time we are exposed into this physical world. The screaming is for air. And when you breathe in oxygen, remember all this time, all the breathing has been done by your mother for you. But when you breathe in this oxygen, you have to breathe out carbon dioxide. And that's the law of sowing and reaping. You have to take in all this that you've been supplied by the natural environment, the plants, the trees around you, and then you have to give back carbohydrates. And that's the first carbon monoxide. And that's the first exchange, the first sign to show you that as a man, you'll only receive as much that as you give. The second thing that is done here, that's your first case of interdependency between you and your mother. Remember, when you are in her womb, you are 100% dependent on her for life. But when you pushed out, there is interdependency. Your mother is still supplying you through the umbilical cord, even though for the first time, now you've taken the first gasp of air on your own. The little lungs have been hit by the impure air that we're breathing in. And the second thing that is done is your umbilical cord is cut. And for the first time, there is interdependency between the mother and the child. Because if you don't reach for that breast and start sucking on it, you are going to die, because there is no longer automatic supply of food into your little veins, into your little system. You have to start fighting for it. And that's the metaphor for life, even where we are now. If you look at life, life is one gigantic, big breast, and you can only get out as much as you suck on it. If you suck little on it, you'll get little. If you suck more on it, you're going to get more. And this is something that as men, we start understanding as we grow up. When you come out of your mother's womb, you have perspective, you have reference, you understand now there is a big difference between the comfort provided, which is Eden in the mother's womb, and now you have to start playing your part for you to survive when you get into this world. Most of us, you spend 9 months in your mother's womb trying to come out. But when life hits you hard, when life becomes tough, when the tough gets going, most of us men, the first place we're looking for is the mother's womb, because we want the comfort that we are used to. But God starts you there, but He doesn't want you to stay there. He brings you to change you through the challenges that we do. And most of us men, unfortunately, we've refused to separate or sever that umbilical cord between us and our mother. And because, like Nicodemus in the Bible, when he was asking Jesus, what must I do for me to inherit or see the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus' answer was very simple, very spiritual, but very meaningful. And he said, you have to go back into your mother's womb. Nicodemus looked at him and he asked him, what do you mean? How can a grown-up person go back into their mother's womb? But most of us look at it from a physical perspective. We have to look at this from a physiological, from an esoteric point of view, from a spiritual point of view. Most of us want to go back to that comfort. And that's why, because you can't go back into your mother, that's why you'll find most men try to find comfort in women. And if he can't find it in one, he'll consistently keep on chasing himself and chasing women from one woman to the other one, having as many affairs with as many women as possible, because he's looking for his Eden again. He's looking for that comfort. But brother, it doesn't matter how many women you sleep with. It doesn't matter how many affairs you have. You'll never get that peace of mind until you fix your first relationship. And this relationship starts between you and your maker. The only place where a man gets peace is the relationship between God and him. And the second place becomes the relationship that he has with himself, and then the relationship that he has with everybody else, and especially his mother and his women. You cannot be in a position to love a woman properly until you're in a better position to love God. Because it's only your love for God that consistently keeps on filling your cup to make sure that you have more than enough for you to spread it around. Love is the only thing that the more you give, the more you receive. And there is no better love that a man can feel than the love that he gets from God. I hope this makes sense to you. Which part of this resonates with you? I would love to know what you think. What kind of love are you looking for? And what kind of love are you giving? This is Mululu X. See you soon.